Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial today. In today's tutorial will be making basses like Kompany. Now in Kompany's tracks you can hear a lot of these screaming, raging basses, digital kind of sounding, heavy kind of growls, wobs, like kind of stuff like that. Now all the stuff I'm going to be showing you in this video, in this tutorial, can be, like the techniques can be transferred for most sounds and most genres. It's mostly the genre is like death step, rhythm, dubstep kind of stuff like that, but the techniques are what is the most important thing I'm going to be showing you. So let's get started. So I just have a normal saw wave here, but it's not too digital sounding. So something that we should usually use is digital shapes. Stuff like I has kick for, yeah, not like something like this, too subby, but I has kick. We can use this for movement. To get it like I'm gonna do this in the root key of E. So let's just get started on this, I guess. So we are gonna take I has kick. I can has kick. But you usually can use most digital waveforms or other type of waveforms. But if you really want that Kompany wow kind of digital sound, definitely want to go with more digital waveforms. But obviously get creative and try different waveforms. You can do that after you have the main sound too. So we're gonna want to do like FM synthesis. So we're gonna take off this, and we're actually gonna add sync. So what sync does, and we're gonna do 1/2. Actually, not 1/2. We're gonna do no sync or no window. I meant just normal sync. So what sync does, basically. So if I turn this back up and we go to C5, for example. See, if I go all the way, you get that really high pitch, right? It's basically going by the octaves. So if I went really, really high pitch, I'm like on like maybe C10 or something like that on my keyboard here. So you're getting the same type of sound. That's basically what you're getting. So if I went back to C5, you got that normal sound. But if I go all the way up sync, you basically have the same sound. Try something like right here. Something like that. Now if I went really high, you can't even hear it. It's just out of the pitch range that you can't even hear. So you get the point there. So that's what sync does, is it adds extra higher harmonics. So we're going to want to go, we're going to add a little bit, like a half harmonic of the saw wave here. We're going to take this off, because we just want to add the extra harmonics. Now we're going to take the frequency modulation, frequency from FM from B. We're going to add this. Now you're going to hear that, like, kind of more gritty sound. And take it off, you don't get it. Now we can start to add movement to the sound. And we're going to try and make this like a growl. You want to add some extra unison. Usually it's 3. Oh, I'm not on the right octave. That's why it didn't sound as good. So, yeah, I'm playing on a different octave, lower octave now. See, without the oscillator B, just get that digital. You want that movement. Now, to get that even more movement, see if I maybe start the other way instead. Here. Just messing around. I'm basically choosing how long it takes to get to the final entry, or the final zone of where it will stop. That's basically what this LFO is doing. I want that watery kind of sound, so Now, let's go for a HP 12 maybe. For like an extra boost. Around 1,000 hertz is where a growl really stands. So usually, because that's where like the vowel is. Like if you want like a really deep tone, you went like something like that. You would get more of a vowel. Let's see. Just adding more movement. Let's see. There you go. So that's usually around good. So I just gave an extra octave on top of this. So it gets a higher kind of... Now we're going to get into the effects. Because we already have the tonality and some of the filter shaping going on. Now, we are going to add distortion. Now, I think usually we could use kind of like a sine shaper. Not all the way up either. See? Get that more digital kind of sound. Because I can't put it. There's kind of like sine waveforms in this near the end of the I-has kick. So that's why distortion's really working well, because it's kind of enhancing the distortion. The distortion's enhancing the sine waves because it is kind of like a sine. It says sine shaper. So that same goes for square, like sine fold and zero square. Those work for kind of like more of those kind of like oscillators, like wavetables, like square, for example, sine. Usually goes for more of that, but obviously get creative, because they can definitely give some cool results. So now we're getting at more of that distorted feel. You can even automate this or LFO this. Give it a wider feel. Make sure the mix is always down on the dimension though. Detuning, because the higher the detune, you can actually get a darker sound. Or like up here around this area, you can get a darker sound. There's actually in a Seth Hill's track, he put all the detune all the way up, and it gave it a darker kind of plucky sound in the track Void, actually. So you can get a darker sound, less rate, and mix around here. There's just a little bit of a wider feel going. Now, we can add compression. Multiband. Always multiband. Take down the threshold a bit, so it's not being all compressed. Or actually, no, we're taking less compression away. And boost the gain. Now, there's a couple different things we can do. We can EQ and give it a more of a growl. So if we do notch, we can get like a... Now we can even do maybe even a boosting. Emphasizing the growl. So we're emphasizing the growl. So if like I took the gain down on this, you don't really get that growl, but this is around 1000 hertz. So we boost it, you get that wow, kind of like crazy kind of valley stench. That's where the main harmonics of the growl is. So hope that actually shows you some cool stuff, because that you can do that with just like most sounds. So now we can even add a filter on here. Now we can go crazy if we want. You can add a comb filter. Comb filters are one of my favorites, definitely. You need to absolutely get the tonality right on these things. But I'm thinking we could even add another notch, actually. Let's see. I think the high end away. Nah, I'm not a big fan of this one. Let's see if we can add a comb minor. Kind of definitely heard these filters on sounds before, on tracks. That could be like as a screech bass. That's actually how you can resample these types of sounds. Let's see if we can go back to a comb. Give it a little bit extra harmonic. Actually, I don't even think we need a filter for this sound, personally. There's always so much happening, but it's an extra thing that you can do either to try and resample the sound, because resampling is a huge thing in dubstep and bass music, or future bass, for example, too, melodic dubstep, etc., drum and bass. I recommend resampling and pretty much any genre, because this can help you actually get more creative and do stuff other people aren't doing. So definitely take a lot of stuff from dubstep techniques, at least. Not like, if you want to bring sounds in your own song, like song tracks, whatever you want to do, for sure do it, unless you make genres like this, like a genre like this. But definitely take the techniques like the resampling, learning how to preset, manipulate, because this is like the best stuff that you can learn for sound design, because most techniques transfer over. So going back into the sound, I don't think there's really too much more we really have to add. Yeah. Sound like a just really that sounds like an excision kind of sound now. Oh yeah, definitely. This sounds like something that you hear in like Codename X now. Wow, 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 wow. Definitely really cool. Oh yeah, this is really cool. I wonder where that clicking is coming from. No idea where that clicking is coming from, but you can definitely like find it somewhere. Let's see. I think it's just coming from Distortion. Step maybe LFO, something like that. You can always I can always try and find it. I found it. See, just see if we can add a sub. Direct out always, because you don't want it to be affected by all the effects and filtering, etc. Usually it's just the effects. Because like we have Hyperon, for example, which can just widen up the sub, which you do not want. There you go. Precision, company base. It started out more like company, now it's kind of like a mixture of company and excision, but that's just what creativity is. Now you have like this ba 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 ba. Now you have your own bass. That could be like that, like a first hit, and then you have that like, yeah, very very cool sound. So yeah, you learn some cool techniques of using FM, sync, what sync does, some cool distortion technique I just showed you, cool LFO routing. And this is a pretty simple sound, more of one of my simpler, but it's definitely really cool. It's a theme of like company excision, kind of stuff you hear in dubstep, rhythm, kind of cool stuff like that. And yeah, I hope you learned a lot on this sound. It's definitely a cool sound I made. And I really hope you guys did learn a lot. And yeah, this was a bass in the style of company slash excision. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace, guys.